So this is for our weekly rock show, which is called The Riot. So that's what we do first, then we do the video choices after that, and then we need to do a few idents and a couple of other questions as well. That's okay.
Cool.
Right. So why is the show called Riot?
Riot.
Uh-huh.
Because we like to.
Because it's loud, it's noisy.
Corporate rioting, huh? Right. Australian. Right.
Right. Yeah, to that camera?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah, can we just move that coffee out? Shot there.
Is that good?
That's cool, yeah. Okay. Cool.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. To those of us in the UK, it seems like System of a Down have been away for ages and ages. They haven't played here for quite a while, and the debut album came out now 3 years ago, but they're back with album number 2, and Serj and Daron are here on the right to talk about it. You all right?
Yep. How you doing?
So, 3 years since the debut album. That's quite a long time for a band to leave between their first album and their second release. When did you actually start working on this new album?
When we finished the last one.
So it's taken 3 years, has it?
It has. It
Yeah?
really has, yeah. I mean, writing is something we always do. It's not really necessarily just writing for an album. It's something we do all the time.
I think 3 years isn't a long time to release a record. I think bands, that take longer to do their thing, I usually like their records better, so I don't know.
So I heard that for this album, over that period of time that you've been doing writing, you sort of narrowed it down to 33 tracks and then sort of argued between band members about 14 tracks that were actually eventually going to be featured on the album. But not what was good or bad, what had the most cohesive direction. What kind of direction did you decide this album should have?
We didn't argue too much.
No, not at all. It was hard picking it though, because there were a lot of songs, and as far as direction, it's more of like whatever fits together, more importantly than which specific songs ended up being on this one.
I'd say there's a more melodic direction to the record.
Mm-hmm. So the tracks that don't appear on this album, will they appear as B-sides, or will they be put back for the next System of a Down album, do you think?
Possibly.
Some will be worked in movie soundtracks maybe, some will, each one of them will have a place.
Mm-hmm. So a deliberate more softer approach to this album.
Not softer, just melodic.
Just melodic, yeah. Because I've got this theory, right? Let me see what you think about this. That the new metal is going to be prog rock. Because I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's all these bands that are coming out now with lots of complicated guitar bits, and they're going more melodic and stuff like that. And it would seem not deliberately, but just by chance that System's going more in that direction. Pink Floyd is a name that I've read that's cropped up as an influence for this album.
I think it's because me and him do more vocal harmonies in certain parts. I mean, if you know System of a Down music, you know it goes from one place to another within a second. So it's like we'll go through a really heavy thrash part, and then me and him will do like this really pretty, beautiful vocal melody type of thing. Then that was something that you couldn't find on the last record.
So when you're writing stuff like that, I mean, is it just like lots of different ideas that come together, whereby you have something that's really heavy, and then suddenly you'll go, 3 months ago when you came up with that kind of harmony line, do you remember doing that? Can we put that bit in here? Is that how you kind of work out the songs? Because they are, fast bits, slow bits, radical time changes as well in the stuff that you do.
They pretty much put themselves together it sometimes takes about 8 to 9 months, sometimes a year, to put a System of a Down song together, and it's because it's easy to put things into a song, and you just keep putting things into a song. The hardest part is to take the stuff out. Because you generally do like all your ideas, but you have to figure out which one of your ideas works best for that song.
Right.
And you don't want to overdo it and when you put too much, the song sort of loses itself after a while and loses the song aspect of it all, which is, a verse chorus type of thing. We like to stay on that verse chorus type of tradition, except, sometimes the verse will be a waltz and the chorus will be hardcore.
Yeah.
So
So I guess people don't come in with like completed songs very often with System of a Down. You come in with different ideas that.
No, it's
No,
complete
Daron
songs.
usually
I
comes up
usually
with full complete songs.
it
Shovel
just
and
takes
I
a while.
write songs also, and but yeah, putting them together and making them sound with four of us exactly how we want to do it and how we're comfortable with takes a while.
Rick Rubin has produced this album again. I would imagine that
Along with me and him.
Yeah, I would imagine he probably is very good for System of a Down in so much as if you look at the kind of stuff that Rick Rubin's worked on before, he's worked with everyone from like Mick Jagger solo to the Beastie Boys, right?
Yes.
And you as a unit are kind of like amalgamate everything that he's done. Is that why you work with him again?
That's a big reason why I think we chose Rick.
Rick's very easy to work with. He's very calm, and he complements our vision rather than says what he really wants or something like that. He sees where we're going, and it's been really fun working with him. Very, very creative.
He's an easy guy to work with.
Everyone calls him a ghost producer in that it's almost like he's not there. Did you not feel that?
His presence is definitely there on this record.
With us.
It's funny because I hear that from people, and and then I sit there and say, wow, he must really, really like us because he is there a lot.
He doesn't just like leave the tape rolling and go down the bar, which is what some other bands have insinuated he does sometimes.
He is there a
He's
lot.
always there.
With
He's a
us.
very hard worker.
So tell me through kind of the influence that Rick Rubin's had on this album. Does he just give you ideas about how to reconstruct songs, or is he just got like an overall really good feel for the band?
I think he helps us a little bit with pre-production. He always tries to bring out the strongest points of the song, like make them shine, or even every part of the song. He has a way of finding a way to make each part, an individual part, shine in its own right, and that's, I think, where he helps us the most.
He's helped a lot with even lyrical ideas and things of that sort, where things were like, should we repeat this or should we maybe do something different? And, he's a good think tank for that purpose as well.
While we're talking about lyrics, Serj, you write a lot of poetry, and people can get poetry in books and via the websites and stuff like that. And of course, the lyrics for System of a Down. How do you decide what becomes poetry, what becomes lyrics for songs, that kind of thing? When you've come up with an idea for something, do you know that that's definitely going to be a piece of poetry, or it could be set to music?
Generally, when I write words, I just write words. But with System songs, Daron came up with a lot of lyrics on this one, so he'd come up with an idea usually, or if he didn't, then I'd look through poetry that I've written or something like that. But generally on this album, I've written a lot of stuff based on the vibe of the song, fresh and new, or cut in stuff as well from, just whatever's meant to come there, that's what comes there.
Have we got any surprising lyrical topics this time around? Because I know Rick Rubin was saying that he's very into working with System because you write about emotions and politics and humorous stuff. Anything. It's not a set agenda.
Everything that goes with life. One of my favorite moments of our new record is in a song called Psycho, where the music tends to get really sad and emotional, but the lyrics are pretty funny, and so you don't know whether to laugh or cry.
Right.
And I like that part of the album, I guess, if I was a fan.
How are you finding being with a major label now? Because it occurred to me, System of a Down, it's a big new album that's coming out, this second album for you. The markets have all gone rock at the moment. The first album sold nearly 1 million copies. Were the record company kind of breathing down your neck while you were making this album, seeing what it sounded like?
Not really. It was actually very, we said that we're going to take time after touring and not be a band that comes up with a second album really quickly right off tour, because I think that's a mistake. You don't have time to reflect and grow and present yourself differently.
Nobody ever tells us what to do, actually. And that's it's funny because I hear that and I always wonder, how much does the record company get involved with other bands that are in Colombia, because they never they don't come to rehearsals or anything, because we kick them out.
Yeah, I haven't got the studio bugged.
I do have to say that Rick was a good at explaining, I think, to Sony that we needed to take time, and I think maybe they were a bit down his neck possibly, but I'm not sure.
They don't bug us too much.
Good. He was a good cushion effect between you and the corporate music business. Yeah.
I think so.
So do you not feel any kind of pressure that might come afterwards about the expectations that the record company might have? I mean, would you be disappointed if this album doesn't do 1 million like
we
first one
write
did?
music for ourselves, and ultimately, like, people would tell me not to growl or else we'll never get signed and things of that sort. If we're going to listen to them, then we'd be in a bad place to start with. We really it doesn't matter.
Before we started doing any press or anything, like when we completed this record, I'm so emotionally attached to these songs that if we sold 2 copies, I'd be surprised, but I would also, at the end of the day, still be satisfied and say we did write a good record. It's just maybe that's not what's on television right now, and you know I can understand.
We're happy with it.
I would understand if it doesn't get understood, because I don't understand why people understand our band in the first place, if that makes sense.
So the
Sound like Edith Bunker.
So the more melodies on this album, I mean, obviously, you know, you're saying that you've written an album that you're very proud of, that's very personal to you. But do you think there's any chance that some kids might go, oh, listen to those more melodic sounds from System of a Down? They're just doing this because there's more chance of them getting radio play now.
No,
The songs aren't exactly very radio friendly. If you listen to the radio, you wouldn't hear anything that sounds like our new record. So.
Plus, it's hard for them to react that way because we've got this frequency that we've developed, that we've put on the record that'll make people shit.
Okay.
It really does. It makes you shit.
So the Sgt. Pepper had the thing that makes your dog bark, but System of a Down have taken
Makes
it way beyond
yeah,
that.
fecal matters.
Okay, even if your dog's really well house trained, it's gonna lose control, right?
Wouldn't that be great to actually control bowel movements from stage?
Music is a powerful thing, man.
Absolutely, it can move you, even your bowels. Right?
Yeah.
All of you.
What's happening with touring? Because you're going to do a show in Japan, but when are you going out on the road properly?
September in the U.S. You know, till then just promo and a couple of promo shows here and there.
What about over here in the UK?
We might be doing a promo show when we release the album, but I'm not sure.
Okay, all right.
I'm not really sure.
But when people get a copy of the album, they should have like a pot standing by, just in case that tone gets to their body and they lose complete
And a lot
control.
of toilet paper.
Yeah, and a lot of toilet paper. All right. Should come with a health warning, not parental advisory for the lyrics, but might make you crap.
Hey, you know, you run the risk.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, man.
Cheers.
Thanks. Okay, we're going to do the video thing. We know the,
Yes, with
do
the
you
whole
want to do
band.
that all 4 of you together?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, something like that. Set it
Okay.
whatever style you like. There's no script. It's your
Ready?
show.
You ready?
They're taping.
Yeah, we're ready.
Hello out there in television land. We're System of a Down. We're picking the videos, you're watching them.
You don't have a choice.
We have control of your TV.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, nice. Okay, so first one's Fat Boy. Yeah, that is going to
Here
be
you go,
Fat Boy
Story
Slim.
Boy.
Story Boy.
So don't forget
Story
to
Boy.
mention the name of the.
It's Christopher
David,
Walken dancing
video
in
of
the
the
video. That's
band.
why I want to do it.
What's that?
Don't forget to mention the name of the video or the band in your little.
Okay, well, the first video is Weapon of Choice by Fatboy Slim, just because the video is really cool video. It's just Christopher Walken dancing, and that just explains it all. He's one of our favorite actors, one of mine. I know Daron's. So here it is. It's pretty cool.
What happened to the cool story that you had?
That's my story. I'm not going to go about telling fucking 30
Exactly.
seconds, bro. 30 seconds, bro.
You could hear it. Really? We just do that one again. Sorry, guys. It's phone in the background.
It won't be as good.
No, obviously. No, it'll be better because you read your rehearsal.
Yes, now I know what to say. Well, the first video is Weapon of Choice by Fatboy Slim, and the reason I chose this one is because it has Christopher Walken dancing in it, and that's it. Simple as that. Just like that.
Cool. Okay.
We gotta do it again?
No, that's cool.
Now we
This
got
one's Fatboy Slim.
It gets shorter and shorter.
Okay, this was John Lennon Woman.
Go for it. One of you guys.
Go for a woman.
Well, since I am the woman of the band, it needs no introduction. John Lennon, his voice, his words, his vibe, his aura, amazing. Enjoy.
Sorry, can we also just leave that everything outside? Get a chance, shut up.
We don't know what you just said, bro. At all.
We'll follow.
Shut up!
Sorry!
Hello.
Is that right? Is that right?
Yeah, it's fine, it's just total sort of.
Okay, cool. Slayer, Caesars and Abyss, next one.
Take that one.
Here's the father of almost everything that came after Sabbath that you consider metal. Slayer, Seasons in the Abyss.
Cool. Nice sound. Bjork, Hunter.
Serj,
Why don't you do this one, man?
I didn't think it.
So,
Go ahead, Serj.
Bjork's an amazing artist, and Hunter's a great video, really interesting. And
come on, start all over because I picked my nose. I'm sorry.
okay, Shavo likes to pick his nose. Bjork's an amazing artist, and she's done a video in Iceland, which we were told no one had done a video in Iceland, and she had. So
So there
here's
you go.
Hunter.
Isn't she from Iceland?
Yes.
There you go. Makes total sense
Isn't
then.
there ice in Iceland? Well, there you go.
No, there isn't.
There's
Right,
trees.
then, tribal
There
quest. I left my wallet in El Segundo.
Ah, is that mine?
Yeah, it's yours.
Well, this
Shall-
one.
It's because you leave your wallet everywhere. I think that's why you
I
picked
think so. The next video is by a tribe called Quest. It's called "I Left My Wallet in El Segundo."
I gotta get it.
I got to get it. It's a really cool song. It's a really cool video. Watch it.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, Carcass Heartwork.
Bring it.
Here's a video that MTV never plays. Carcass,
Play it
Heartwork.
now. Play it now.
Play it.
Cool.
Okay, Iggy Pop, Lust for Life.
Here's the godfather of all punk rock. Iggy Pop, Lust for Life.
Oh yeah.
Okay, do you want to just say what you like about, what you what you like about him, or why you like him, or
Alright.
a little more information.
A little more right.
We're
Here's
trying to
your
make it quick for you.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
We're done. Let's do all 14.
No, we're cool.
This is public enemy. It's
I
live.
don't know, if you don't want to say anything else about that one, that's cool, but we can move on.
Do you want to say anything?
What kind of how do we start?
Okay, no, we'll go on to the next one. Joy Division, Transmission.
Here's a band that got cut short really quick because of a death in the band, and they ended up forming New Order afterwards. It's Joy Division, Transmission.
Okay, cool. Metallica, Creeping Death.
Hey.
Go.
Here's something from the old school Metallica that you might enjoy if you like the new school Metallica. It's just a little bit faster.
What is it?
Creeping Death.
Okay.
Had the laugh in there too. That was the best part. The Who?
Generation, yeah.
All right, you're about to listen to The Who. They're a huge inspiration to me personally.
Huge.
And Keith Moon is the best drummer of all time.
Cool. All right, we've got a few more questions for you, straight to camera. So.
Was that it?
Was that 10?
Yeah, that was 10, yeah.
That was quick, huh?
That's good. To the point. That's
Yeah. A lot of blood.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
I don't have a pen in my hand.
I don't know, bro.
Johnny Carson.
Yes!
Right, so this is. I'm just going to ask you about 6 extra questions that she's going to answer straight to the camera. But first one is, what is the most creative term of abuse you've ever used or had used about you? And why do you like or dislike it?
I don't even understand.
Could you
what
repeat the
that
question?
means.
Well, what's the best swear word that you've ever used or had
What?
used about you,
Oh, had used about you.
or used yourself?
I like the word hussy. I can't tell you why, but I really do. I love the word hussy. It just has a great ring to it. It's got a lot of attitude. I like calling people, girls and guys, hussies.
There's a cuss word in Armenian that I think is really creative. I'll say it in Armenian. It's called tatmeret kunam. And what that means, right, is screw the guy, the doctor that delivered your ass. Which I think is pretty thought out. You know?
Isn't
Like,
that
Yeah.
the guy who cut your umbilical
yeah,
cord?
the doctor,
Yeah.
you know, the guy that cut your umbilical cord. So like, screw
That's
him for
creative.
giving
That's really
birth to you.
creative.
So I love that one. Tatmeret kunam.
Here on MTV.
Okay. In your opinion, what has been the most important event in the history of rock music?
Ooh. Well, the most important event.
You're asking some tough questions.
I know, they're
'Cause-
quick ones you're saying.
How could one event be like the defining moment of rock?
The
Well, for
development
you,
of Jack Daniels.
What's been the thing that made you get into rock music then?
Actually, I got into rock music before I knew what rock music was. So
I smoke rock, and that makes my music rock music.
Kiss.
What about Kiss that you like?
That's the first thing I saw,
Solid
like
Gold.
band-wise, when in America, and it was Kiss, and they had makeup on, and they really entertained me, and it was just amazing. I didn't even know the songs or anything. I didn't even care for them. I just loved the way they were, you know. And then after I grew up, I learned the songs too. I cared about those things too.
Serj?
I'll skip the question.
Okay. All right, and then you've got to answer the next one then. Tell us your best groupie story.
Oh, we don't want to. We have girlfriends. Why are you making us do this?
You're getting us in trouble, brother.
Yeah, we all have girlfriends.
We're married.
Okay, but okay.
Well,
He's like, these guys
questions.
stink. Why did you call these guys
Here's a
over?
groupie story for you.
Make something up quick.
I don't know. There are these 4 midget groupies that came onto the bus, and they wanted to have sex with us, and we did. It was
But
great. They were
actually,
midgets.
we didn't.
We're really
but
into
our
midget
tech Linus
groupies.
did.
Yeah.
We hire techs that are usually into midgets and like to be
Sexual with
pissed
them.
on.
It's true. It's a weird story, but it's true.
It's true.
Sad but true.
You know?
Okay. What's the best and worst aspect of LA when it comes to rock music?
There's too much of it. There's too much music in LA, I think. Crap.
That could be
Walking
good
in
and bad,
LA.
though. Yeah.
There you go.
Covered them both in one answer.
There's too much music. Not too much music.
I
too many bands.
think there's too many bands that are just trying to be famous, so that doesn't leave enough space for bands that are actually trying to musically do something and don't really care about being famous, like us.
Good answer.
Here on MTV.
At MTV.com.
What member of your band is most likely to go insane, and what is likely to be your downfall?
How could you ask?
Somebody else can answer on behalf.
Are you
of
sure
one
this is
of
not
us.
Kerrang? It's MTV.
Yeah.
We can all go mad, insane.
In fact, we all do
Any
go
moment.
Who's
insane.
to say we haven't already gone mad and insane? So
We are
What's the
engaged to
same thing you've done?
madness. Huh?
Sorry.
Engaged to madness.
I ran somebody over, and I'm not lying to you, about 3 days ago on my birthday party, because he was fighting with my friends, and I ran them over with my car.
He's admitting to.
I don't give a shit. This is England. That was America. They can't get me here.
He wasn't dead or anything.
He's not dead.
Someone got their ear ripped off, right?
Yeah, someone's ear fell on the floor. That's exciting.
We had a
don't you
birthday
think?
party in Hollywood, and this.
That was a
It was
birthday party.
That was our birthday. That's the way we celebrate our birthday by.
Actually, I didn't even know about it. I had already left. I missed the ruckus.
There was
Whose ear
there was
fell
a
off?
Hollywood brawl.
What's that?
Whose ear fell off then?
Some guy we don't even know.
Yeah, we don't.
We didn't know him.
There were.
And do you know why the fight was created in the first place?
Because somebody called Serj a nerd.
And I wasn't even
So
there.
if you call us a nerd or anything, we will kick your ass.
No, it was a misunderstanding
Or run you
between
over.
people that didn't even have anything to do with us, and then
Yeah.
a big brawl broke out, and we were involved.
The party was great. We had a good time.
And then the aliens came.
And then cows just ran
started
by on
disappearing.
fire. I know these.
And then we
lights
started
are
barbecuing dogs.
Well, I feel like we're getting barbecued right now.
hot. It's
Yeah,
hot.
we are.
You're getting a grilling, yeah?
Grilled.
Okay.
Gelir.
Last one then. What are the perfect ingredients for a rock and roll Christmas? Obviously, I'm thinking ahead to Christmas programming here, but.
How about being
Shizer
at home with your
videos.
family?
Yeah, a rock and roll band that could be home
A rock and roll
with their
Shizer
loved ones.
Christmas.
for Christmas would be a good rock and roll Christmas.
Scheiße, Christmas.
What are you planning for
Don't you
the
think
Christmas
that's great?
party, or does Christmas suck?
We spend our Christmases with our parents and
I think
Family members.
the perfect thing would be to get Slayer to sing Christian Christmas songs. That would be in their own style. That would be something.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody said, like, you'd probably get a lawsuit against them, about getting them into Christianity.
Who, Slayer?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Wouldn't it?
I think they're used to getting sued.
I think that's the contradiction, though.
Cool. Okay. That's it for the grilling. Idents. If you could do a couple of idents for us, that'd be cool.
Sure.
One of them says, one of them's like a trailer for your hour. So just say we're System of a Down, catch our hour on MTV2 later on.
Hey, we're System of a Down. Catch our hour on
MTV2.
later on.
Cool, that's fine. Okay, next one is we're System of a Down, you're watching MTV2, alternative music television or something like that.
We're System of a Down, and you're watching.
Alternative TV,
You're gonna like
television, music on your screen on MTV2.
That's great. Cool. All right. Thanks,
All right.
Alex. That's
No, those are getting used.
Three-
They're like throwing those away.
All right, we'll just use the regular ones.